What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And this video will be mainly about Mason Mount, and Liverpool are in talks with Mason Mount. They are looking to sign him in the summer, and Chelsea are looking to recoup some of that £600 million that they spent in the last two transfer windows. And Mason Mount wants to leave Chelsea because he's not starting anymore, and we have some major developments in this story, so make sure to stick around because we will preview the Leicester-Liverpool game. Jurgen Klopp said some very interesting things about Liverpool's transfer targets and what kind of transfer talks we are having, and the potential of having Champions League football or not having Champions League football, how that influences the transfer talks that Liverpool are holding. So Jurgen Klopp revealed a lot in his recent press conference. But first, let's talk about Mason Mount, because the Goal.com's Neil Jones reported back at the end of April that Liverpool held productive talks over Mason Mount. The article also added that Liverpool would be willing and able to meet Mason Mount's salary demands. So money is not an issue. It's the big question is, will Chelsea sell Mason Mount? The Guardian's Jacob Steinberg reported that Mason Mount is increasingly likely to make the move to Liverpool. He wants to leave to Chelsea. Chelsea are in absolute shambles. They had an absolute disaster of a season. I think nobody expected Chelsea to have as bad a season. They are set to finish potentially even in the bottom half of the Premier League. And that, I don't think since Roman Abramovich took over Chelsea that ever happened. But under the new ownership, they are absolutely directionless, and their transfer strategy is so scattergun, so gung-ho that Mason Mount is, I think he wants to leave the sinking ship like some other players as well. One report has started doing the rounds that Chelsea, there is a scenario that Chelsea keep Mason Mount because Mauricio Pochettino and Fabrizio Romano claimed that there are advanced talks between Chelsea and Mauricio Pochettino. These talks are moving forward to the final stages. Positive contacts have been made in the last 24 hours. Of course, nothing is signed yet, nothing is done yet, according to Fabrizio Romano, but finally advancing, waiting on the next steps. Tottenham should have signed Mauricio Pochettino when they had the chance, because if Chelsea get him, that's actually a good appointment for Chelsea. Pochettino played some very exciting brand of football at Tottenham, and I think he's a really good manager. Not as good, of course, as Conte or Thomas Tuchel, but he's still a really good manager, and I think that's what probably Chelsea can get. The best that is available right now, and the best of that is Mauricio Pochettino. Mason Mount's contract expires in 1 year, and because there is no contract talks at the moment, it's Mason Mount doesn't want to sign a new Chelsea contract. Chelsea have pretty much no chance but to sell Mason Mount. They basically cannot afford to let a £70 million player go on a free transfer, and because he only has 1 year left on his contract, Liverpool could get him for a cheaper price than his market value. Chelsea are 11th in the table. They are a full 20 points behind Liverpool, and Liverpool had a pretty awful season themselves. So it puts into context what a disastrous season Chelsea had, that they find 20 points. They find themselves 20 points behind this Liverpool team, which has had the worst season under Jurgen Klopp and the most inconsistent season under Jurgen Klopp probably since Liverpool became a really, really good team. Maybe the first season under Jurgen Klopp was a little bit more inconsistent, but we made the Europa League final in that season. Mason Mount's future at Chelsea remains very ambiguous, far from certain. Of course, you can't ignore but that Mason Mount is a Chelsea youth player. He spent all of his life, all of his playing career, plying his trade for Chelsea. Not all of his life, all of his footballing life, what I meant, from youth teams all the way to the senior team, and he lifted the Champions League. And as a Chelsea youth player, that must have been an absolute dream scenario for him, just like Trent Alexander-Arnold lifting the Champions League, the Premier League, and all the other trophies for his boyhood club Liverpool. But a factor Pochettino is almost certain to build his case around is that Mason Mount is Chelsea through and through still, and if Pochettino gets the Chelsea job, maybe he would want to convince Mason Mount to stay at Chelsea. We don't know yet how highly Mauricio Pochettino rates Mason Mount, but I think we have to see and we have to wait how this pans out, how the season ends for Chelsea, whether they appoint Pochettino or not. Whatever new manager Chelsea are going to appoint, I think it's 100% that they won't stick around with Frank Lampard. They would be absolutely stupid if they did, because Frank Lampard lost all of their games apart from the last game, which is Bournemouth. So Chelsea will want a new manager. The big question is, will that new manager want Mason Mount? Would Mason Mount want to stick around? If I were Mason Mount, I would want to go to Liverpool, because Liverpool are a much more stable club. They even have a chance to finish in the top 4. Chelsea are an absolute shambles. With this new owner, there won't be any stability at Chelsea, and there is no guarantee that even with more signings and a new manager that Chelsea would get into the top 4. I think at Liverpool there is a much bigger chance that with the right players coming in, Liverpool could finish in the top 4 and hell, even maybe challenge for the title next season. And I think Mason Mount is rightly upset, because he is one of the most important players at Chelsea, or used to be at least. He was player of the season 2 years in a row. He made more than 200 appearances for Chelsea, and yet he is somewhere in the middle when it comes to earning wages at Chelsea. He's not in the top earners, top 3 or top 5 earners at Chelsea, even though, as I said, he was best player in the past 2 years, and also he has played 200 games for Chelsea. He was starting a lot of games until this crazy transfer merry-go-round happened at Chelsea. They signed a crazy amount of players. Of course, Mason Mount won't be happy with the length of the contract that Chelsea offer him, the wages that Chelsea offer him. They probably didn't increase his wages that much, so he still won't be in the top earners at Chelsea, among the top earners, even if he accepts that new contract. So I can understand why Mason Mount said, you know what, I'm not signing this new contract, and I want out. And if Liverpool can persuade Mason Mount to go to them and to be a major part of Liverpool's rebuild, and I'm hearing that this is not an alternative to Alexis Mac Allister. We could sign Mason Mount and Mac Allister alongside each other, because Liverpool definitely need 2 brilliant midfielders in their midfield, and they can both score goals. Maybe they won't play a lot of, like all of the games, both in the starting lineup, but they will still play a lot of games. And I think both players could be instrumental in firing Liverpool back up the table. Mason Mount is a versatile player. He loves to press, he loves to work hard, and he has an outstanding work ethic and an outstanding footballing brain. And off the ball and on the ball, he's very, very good. If he signs for Liverpool and plays like 40-50 games, I'm convinced that he will score at least 10, maybe even 15 or even 20 goals in a settled Liverpool team, which creates a lot of chances. We desperately miss a goal-scoring midfielder who can arrive in the box and finish off some chances. We are relying too much on our forward players to score goals, and that needs to change sooner or later. And Glenn Johnson, recently the former Liverpool right back, who also played for Chelsea and Portsmouth, he said recently that, spending 70 million on a player nowadays, it's not as much money as it was like 5 or 10 years ago. 70 million gets you a world-class player, but it doesn't get you one of the best. And for a good player, isn't that expensive, 70 million? Alexis Mac Allister is certainly a good player, but if you have to spend 60-70 million, he said, then I would rather spend that money on Mason Mount. Mason would have suited Liverpool better. He would have got into the starting 11. I don't believe that Alexis can instantly command a starting berth in this Liverpool team. He would certainly be a good squad player, but I would have preferred if they signed Mason Mount. He's talking about Alexis Mac Allister like he is already a Liverpool player. He's pretty close to being a Liverpool player, but it's not done yet. And he said it will be the opinion of Chelsea and the opinion of Mason Mount on whether he signs a new contract or leaves. That's between them. I think my opinion is pretty clear. I don't need to spell it out what I think of Mason Mount as a player, but it's not my want to get into. That's between them. I think form for a young player, people can analyze and question form, but you can very quickly forget the consistency that Mason Mount has shown in the period since he has broken through at Chelsea. I've been a big part of that. In the beginning, he carried on after I left for his country as well. Then you forget how young he is because he's so mature as a player and he has been around for many seasons. And as a player that all his managers have trusted him so much. And I think if there was a drop in form, it's more than understandable. And I think every player has a drop in form throughout their career, especially in the developing years. But there's no doubt Mason Mount is a top class player and what he brings the team in and out of possession. And I would love Liverpool to sign Mason Mount because I think we can get him for cheaper than 70 million. But if the new owner of Chelsea wants 70 million for Mason Mount, then I would hesitate signing a player for that amount of money, even as good as Mason Mount, when he has 1 year left on his contract. So I think Liverpool can be hard negotiators and hopefully they can negotiate the price down. Because 70 million for a player with 1 year left on his contract is crazy. Unless he's somebody like Jude Bellingham or Mbappe, I don't think Liverpool should pay that amount. And Stan Collymore said that maybe Mason Mount deleting his Twitter account can be something that of an indicator that he wants to leave Chelsea, because if he signs for a Premier League rival like Liverpool, Chelsea fans would absolutely abuse him on social media and tweet very angry things at him, which is of course wrong, but that's the fact of social media. And Stan Collymore said, I know that Liverpool have been stiffing around Mason Mount, and the suggestion could be that he's going to sign for Liverpool, the deal is already done, and when he signs for Liverpool it becomes fact on social media, Chelsea fans will have a go at him. It's his club, Chelsea, and he has been there a long time. There were rumors that Todd Bowley wanted to give him a new contract, but I think that going to Liverpool would be a step up. I think if Chelsea were above them in the table, it would still be a step up, because going to a club like Liverpool, Man United, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Juventus and AC Milan, they are once in a lifetime clubs. There's no disrespect to what Chelsea have achieved. They had a brilliant 20 years, but they still are a lot smaller than Liverpool. But it's a hard decision. Mason Mount has been a Chelsea player for 18 years now. He graduated from Chelsea's Youth Academy in 2017, so 6 years ago, after winning the FA Youth Cup twice. And of course, he won the Chelsea Player of the Year award twice. He won the Champions League, the European Super Cup and the Club World Cup at Stamford Bridge, but he hasn't won the Premier League yet. He hasn't won the FA Cup, he hasn't won the League Cup, and Liverpool have won all of that in the last 4 or 5 years. So Mason Mount should join Liverpool in my opinion, and he would be a brilliant signing. And Jurgen Klopp gave an injury update, so both Bobby Firmino and Naby Keita are not in team training yet, but Naby Keita won't be even in team training after the Leicester game, but Bobby Firmino will be. He's very close. He's nearly there, Bobby Firmino, but he won't be available for the Leicester game. My hope is that he can play in our last home game against Aston Villa, and hopefully he can get a standing ovation. Jurgen Klopp said something very interesting about the negotiations with players. When I talk to a player, if I'm allowed to talk to a player, Jurgen Klopp said, we cannot say in the moment if we have Champions League football for next season. So if we are already talking, then it is already clear that he already knows about that situation, but it's just a general thing. I think if you join a club, you reach something together with the club. It's obvious we have to be part of the Champions League, fight for trophies and these kind of things. If you want to be part of that, you are more than welcome to come to Liverpool. But we cannot guarantee this year Champions League football. But all the rest is the same as before. Liverpool are a fantastic club, really good football team, and a better one hopefully next year. It's really that simple. We are still Liverpool. We are really attractive to a lot of players. We try to give ourselves a chance for a fresh start with a lot of different things, different football things, and kind of a new start. And this Trent Alexander-Arnold's new position, the inverted right back, which is like a deep-lying playmaker role in attack, has really worked wonders for Liverpool. Trent is leading the Premier League among all players in 6 different metrics, which is absolutely amazing. And hopefully he can keep this up. We had 8 or 9 days between games, and we wanted to use that time to start the new season already, not knowing where it would lead us, but we didn't want to waste more time. It was a breath of fresh air not just for the players, but for all of us and the coaches as well. We want to control the game differently, protect our game differently in different formations, and to be honest, it's really good fun to think about it, to work on it, and then the results came in. Sometimes you have to change big things to turn things, not just little things. And Jurgen Klopp was asked about the away form, and he said that Liverpool have been especially bad away from home, but we have just had a bad season overall, not just away from home. Because in previous seasons there was not much difference between Liverpool's home form and away form, but this season there is a huge difference. Liverpool got more than double the amount of points at Anfield in the Premier League than away from home. But when Liverpool's performances improve and the consistency is back, like you can see, we have won 6 games in a row. A few of them were away from home. When Liverpool get the consistency back, our away from won't be a problem. But definitely, if Liverpool miss out on the Champions League places, then Liverpool's away form is to blame, because it has been absolutely atrocious. So yeah, let me know what you think about everything that we talked about in this video, and I will preview the Leicester game in another video, because this video has already gone on for a little bit longer than I expected. So the Leicester Liverpool preview will come tomorrow as well, so stay tuned. And I'm in the process of editing a Liverpool career mode episode. It will be up probably tomorrow morning, so check back for that as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a lovely weekend. See you later. Goodbye.